So you want to learn how to play OnPar? Here's our instructional video on the setup and gameplay. First, deal each player 6 cards face down, and have the players place their cards in a 2x3 grid as shown. Place the remaining deck in the middle of the table, and flip over the top card of the deck to create a discard pile. Then, have each player flip any 2 cards on their grid face up. Players may not look at a face down card until they decide to flip. Play starts with the player left of the dealer, and continues to the left. On a player's turn, they have 2 options. The first option is that a player can draw a card from the top of the deck. Let's say this player draws a green 7. When a player draws from the deck, they have 2 more options. A. They can replace a card on their grid with the new card. When they do so, they place the old card in the discard pile face up. Remember, a player may not look at a face down card at any time before replacing. Instead of option A, players can opt for option B, in which they discard the card they drew and flip over one of the face down cards in their grid. Instead of drawing from the deck, there is another option. Players can take the top card of the discard pile instead of drawing from the deck. In this case, the player must replace a card on their grid with the card they took. Once a player has finished their turn, play proceeds to the player to their left. The round ends when a player has all of their cards turned face up. Each player then reveals their remaining face down cards and has one more turn to try and get the lowest score possible. Note: the player who ended the round does not get another turn. The goal of OnPar is to get scores to cancel, using a variety of different methods. Scores cancel if 2 cards in the same column have the same value, such as the 2 12s on the left. Special cards, like kings, queens, jacks, 11s, and 12s, cancel in special ways with cards of the same color. The text on the card specifies in which ways they cancel. In this case, the red king cancels out the red 11. If a card does not cancel with another card, it counts for its numerical value. Kings, queens, and jacks are all worth 15 points. In this case, 7 and 6 do not cancel, and so they are worth 13 points total. Wild cards count as any number and any color, meaning they cancel with any card in the same column. OnPar is usually played in 9 rounds, but can be played with more or less rounds if desired. Some players like to play with different numbers of cards in a grid. One way to play is to have the first 3 rounds be with 4 cards, the middle 3 with 6 cards, and the last 3 with 9 cards. Experiment with the number of cards and see what your group likes best. Something to keep in mind while playing is that there are more high-value cards in the deck than low-value ones, to balance out risk versus reward. A 1 might look like a nice card to grab, but there are only 4 in the deck, while a 10 might seem risky, but there are 12 of them in the deck. Thank you for watching. Find us on our social media accounts below.